Adversity? Bring it. The struggle? We welcome it. Snooze on life? Never that. We are Dave Regina and Mike Pirelli, and this is the No Snooze Podcast. Come on. Welcome back, No Snooze Podcast, episode 123. I'm in the booth with my brothers.
Is that right? 123?
Michael, the show Pirelli, Claudio, the voice Valenzuela, and I am Dave, the body Regina. Matching Bar Taco. If you're on YouTube, I look like I work at Bar Taco. If you're from Portchester,
like
Stanford, Greenwich,
at Bar Taco
area. Yeah, I look like the bouncer there.
A bouncer at Bar Taco.
Good. I was saying all fair to Michael, it's a polo shirt, but this polo is actually really a big horse, but my chest just makes it look like a small
looks like
one.
a pony.
I've been dying to tell you this story because it's like super hot, super fresh because it just happened. So, a couple months back, I lost my Beats headphones, right? And they're the studio Beats, so they're like pretty pricey headphones. Yeah, $300, CV says.
CV, the AV guy over here.
Right. They're expensive, but they're really, really good headphones. So I go back to the place the day that I lost them in the gym by the treadmill, and they were gone. I'm like, wow, somebody really just got me for my headphones. That sucks.
Devastating.
But I was like, you know what? I'm not going to dwell on it. Like, let's just keep moving. So I really haven't thought about it. When I see them, I'm like, oh, like, you know, those were my headphones. I like them. Oh, you know. So today, I step on the Stairmaster, and my music stops playing in my headphones. Why are you laughing? Because I know where this is going. My music stops playing in my headphones, and it says, connected, Dave's Beats Studio. I'm like, you motherfuckers.
Where are you?
So now I start looking, and I see two chicks with the same headphones, and they had gold on them, so it's not like it was like a typical black.
Yours were gold?
Yeah, they were
rose gold?
They're silver with like a gold lining in it.
Interesting.
Very nice color, like a pewter with gold. Very nice, right? Pewter is a nice color. So it's like kind of an exclusive color. So I'm like, damn, there's two chicks. One's a young Spanish chick. One's like a middle-aged white chick. So I'm like, oh boy, like I have to just go have the conversation. Like I just
Which
have
is
to
a tough combo, because if you're wrong.
Well, that's the thing. So I start blasting Thief in the Night, right? And now I'm looking.
Very smart.
I know.
That's pretty good.
But now I'm looking at the two of them, and I'm like,
who's going to react?
So now I start messing with the volume. I'm going down, up, and it's blasting, though, because like when you blast it into those headphones, it's loud.
Oh, yeah.
But now I see that they don't really do anything. So I'm like, well, this is bizarre. I'm just going up to them. So I go to the chick that was closest to me, which happened to be the middle-aged white chick. And I'm like, hey, sorry, but she like didn't even look at me. And I'm like, hey, and I like wave my hand, and she like looks up and she like takes her headphones off, and I'm like, this is a very odd conversation, but I lost those same headphones. And she goes, oh, like people in the gym these days, I tell you, they just don't return things. I'm like, that's sketchy.
Yeah.
So I said, what song is playing right now in your thing? And I'm blasting it. Yes. And she goes, Paradise. And I'm like, Paradise. I'm like, can you show me that? Because I'm blasting this song. And she's like, yeah, but like what's going on? So she shows me Paradise, and her name is attached to the thing. It says like Crystal's headphones.
She's probably so confused.
Well, so I said, listen, I'm so sorry, but like look, it's saying that I'm connected to these headphones. She goes, dude, I'm sorry, but like these are mine, and I've had them for like a year.
They probably for sure thought you were scamming.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So I'm like, sorry, have a good day. Like just so awkward, so weird. Then I go to the Spanish chick, young girl too, like probably in high school. And I'm like, hey, like, so sorry to bother you, but can I see your headphones? And she's like, yeah. So I'm blasting the music, and it's not playing out of this damn headphone. And I'm like, this is wild. I said, where did you get these headphones?
These are nice.
I said, where did you get these headphones? And she goes, my mom got them for me. So I said,
where'd your mom get them?
I said, listen, did you find them in the gym though? And I asked the other chick too. I said, did you find those in the gym? And they were both saying, no, I didn't find them in the gym. And she's like, no, my mom got them for me. I'm like, do you mind if I read the serial number? So I pull up the serial number on my phone because it was connected. And sure enough, I look at hers, and it's not the fucking serial number. Then I go back to the other chick. I'm like, hey, sorry to bother you. Can I see the serial number on that? And I was wrong. But somebody in the gym today
had your headphones.
Had my headphones. No.
Should we do a stakeout?
How bugged out is this?
Good content. We should do a stakeout. You know what? They're definitely in like a locker.
Yo, but that's the thing. But they have to be on, and they had 99% charge.
Wait, did you look around?
Your angle though.
I did.
Could they have fallen under a machine?
This was months ago, and how would they be 99% charged?
You need to. Here's a strategy. You probably gave up your position. Someone was like, "Oh, something's going on. He must be here."
Well, I kept blasting. I know.
Bounced.
But then,
maybe they were pre-gaming in the car.
Well, that's the thing. Oh, they could have. But
in the car, you blew
they disconnected me too. So I know they're there. Somebody is snooping. But I was blasting Thief in the Night, bro. And I'm thinking I'm gonna catch these chicks, and I'm looking at both of them because they're on both two different sides of the gym, and I'm like, one of them is gonna touch their ears. And sure enough, they didn't. So I probably shouldn't have went up to them. Then my two homegirls who were in the gym, I told them what was going on because they were like, "Why you look so like serious?" I'm like, "Here, blah blah blah. This is what's going on." They're like, "You're really sick."
First off, I wouldn't have broke focus, right? I would have said it's a gone.
Yo, I mean, and I really checked their serial numbers, so they're not lying to me.
That's insane.
That's what's crazy, and the color is bizarre. It's not like a normal color.
We gotta stake them out. You got to go and just sit in the parking lot and just keep trying to attack. And then once you get, then you got to beeline.
I wonder, will they always try to resync with your phone?
Well, that's the
They're
thing.
Gonna forget you now.
And it just randomly. Like I said, I've thought about it since it happened, but it's been a long time. So when my music just shifted away from my headphones, I'm like, wait, what happened? I look, it said Dave's Beat Solo. I'm like,
they could have just been in the area because that's a shopping complex.
That's what I'm saying. Somebody
could have been like
them.
in the what's next to a BJ's or whatever.
Yeah.
Or they can get some Popeyes.
This is ridiculous.
Wow,
though.
Imagine they were enjoying a nice chicken fried sandwich with your headphones on, really living life.
Blasting Thief in the Night.
Mm-hmm.
How does Thief in the Night go?
I don't know. It was this song.
I've never heard that song.
Yeah, you have.
I have.
Thief in the Night.
Yeah, something like that.
That's it. First off, random song to blast. No. You should have been like, "I'm gonna find you," like Fugees, right?
Oh,
that would have been good. You can't run, you can't hide.
That's a good one.
Oh wait, no, this is young Thugger. Hold on.
Or you should have just played like the Michael Myers theme song.
G's up, O's down.
That would have not got me scared.
That was the part. It was like a thief in the night, in the night, right? So
Thief in the Night. I got it.
So
I didn't even put that together.
So right. So I kept saying, and I kept playing that part. Clicked. I kept playing that part like a thief in the night,
That's good.
I was just blasting it, and I don't have my damn headphones.
So if anyone knows, like, subscribe, and DM us if anyone has leads for these headphones.
This is horrible, man. So yeah, it was fresh. I had to tell you the story, and I was super embarrassed because like I pride myself on being very blunt.
And it was hard
with people, but I was super uncomfortable and awkward. And the fact that I was wrong, I felt terrible.
I did that.
And I went back twice to each of them.
I'm not going to share the whole story, but long story short, someone took like a couple bags outside the front of our house, and they just disappeared. And there was this young mailman that was on our street that looked super sketchy, and he definitely was smoking or whatever, and he was like laughing when I walked up. So I'm like, this got to be the guy. And Dana witnessed me go up to him and stand in the doorway and basically interrogate him. And it wasn't even anything valuable. It was just shit that was in the front, and there was like maybe seltzers. And I interrogated him for like maybe 2 minutes full. And Dana, it wasn't him. Goodwill did it. Goodwill went to the wrong house and took my stuff. And because I called around to see who had Ring cameras. And my guy Emilio next door had a Ring, and I literally see this dude, not intentional. He just like walked up, grabbed the bags, put them in, because the neighbor.
How do you not have cameras? I have cameras everywhere.
Yeah, well, the new house has cameras,
but Ring.
It's the worst feeling when you're wrong and you're so convinced. You're like, this is the.
That was it. I swore, and then I'm like, well, I'm catching one of you. Like absolutely,
this is exciting. Does this fire you up?
Well, so now I know the time frame too, because today I went a little bit earlier than typical, because I didn't have to bring Callie anywhere. So
they're gonna lay low.
I know that's the thing.
You got to like stay low.
And I don't know. They don't know it's me.
I don't think they can reset the connection.
It could be somebody that works there too.
That was the other thing I'm just thinking about right now. The fact that it was 99%. Maybe it was one of you scumbags at the front desk.
What?
Hopefully they don't listen, follow, or
And they all
subscribe.
do too, by the way. So what? This new guy, he shows up. Damn, I'm sorry, buddy. I forget your name. But he just started, and everybody has the No Snooze logo on in that gym.
Of course.
So it's the headquarters. So he's like, yo, like, dude, I see your stuff on Instagram. I really got to check out your podcast. So one of the episodes, I guess, that he listened to, I was shouting out young Jordan, young JG. Grulon, right.
Yeah, that one.
So I guess I said something, but I didn't say Jordan's name. So he was like, yo, you just shouted me out on the podcast, man. Thank you. I'm like, yo, I got you.
You took credit for it. It would be very funny if you were snooping around and you're taking video and then you just look and it's me benching in your headphones.
Well, now I need to look.
You need to find it. You need to close this chapter.
All right, I'll bring up
What's the strategy? I think you guys stay
Wait, there was nobody else
working out.
There was nobody else in the gym.
There was a bunch of people, but like nobody else had the headphones on.
What about the locker room?
I didn't get off.
Do you hear what I'm asking? So it automatically connects, right? So he or she or whoever the hell it is can't unconnect or forget your device, right?
Correct.
Only you could.
Wait, hold on.
Unless you do a factory
If you're
reset.
hooked up to your headphones, can somebody else interfere?
Detach.
That was the thing.
Because I don't think you can.
You can, because I kept doing it,
Well,
and
he
they
was
kept
switching.
disconnecting
He
me.
kept switching, but you can switch back.
Because I think I'm the master on it. Like, it was my headphone, dude. You stole my shit.
But I don't think he can unlink you, but you can unlink your phone if you wanted to,
Yes,
which you're not going to do,
correct.
obviously.
Correct.
But he might be able to do a factory reset.
Right.
No,
And
I've never done
I
it.
tried all the stops. Let me see the serial number, because it says it on the phone.
Wow, someone is playing. What's your approach when you do find the person?
I'm just going to be like, I mean, really, the first thing is, because I don't know if I would.
You know what you should do?
I might get caught with this.
You should go up to them and say like, "Oh, those are really sick headphones. Can I see?" And then
just read the serial
just
number
take
real
it
quick.
and then walk away. Don't say anything.
Well, that's what I wanted to do
That's
to
what
these
you should
chicks,
do.
but then there was two of them that had the same headphones. So I'm like, damn, this thing is
Thank
getting
God you
popular.
didn't do that because
I
you would have
know,
stolen
but
their
I was so
headphones.
convinced. I got to be honest with you, it was a good lesson too, because I swore I would have bet money one of y'all are going down.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
How
one of-
excited were you? Because
I
you
was
live for those
no,
moments.
I
You
was
like that
I was
awkward,
pulsing. Yeah, I really was. I was like,
right? He was working out, getting ready. To
yo,
approach these
I
girls.
jumped off this stairmaster so quick, and then when I got shot down by both of them, and I felt bad because like I went back twice.
Yeah.
And they were like, him again? Oh God.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, can I see the serial number? They're like, here you go. Like, it's bad. But no. So my approach, honestly, the first question I asked was, where did you get those headphones? Did you find them in the gym?
How aggressive were you?
Yeah,
I know. That's what I'm
See,
saying.
My approach would have just been like, nice headphones. Can I see them? And then they'd be like, yeah.
Yeah.
And then just take them. Like,
Just run, but
just
I
walk
was
away with
wrong.
them.
Then I stole your
well,
headphones,
You'd have
Yeah,
to
that's
make sure you
crazy.
play the
I'm not gonna
music.
lie. If you came up to me and you said, "Can I look at your headphones?" I'd be like, "No."
right?
No, you absolutely do.
Hell
yes.
no.
You'd be friendly.
Especially if I know they're mine, and no, I know how he gets.
You know he's not going to run with them, though.
No, it's not even about
I mean,
that.
I'll be here tomorrow. It's the gym.
No.
Yeah, he's at the gym every
I
day.
know how he gets. I know how he can be confrontational. And if he
You
came to
scared?
me, can I look at your? No, hell no.
I thought was it.
No,
That's what I was
no,
trying.
because
I was
I know
trying
they're
to smile
mine.
at them. I'm like,
So if I know they're mine, definitely not. And I want you to get crazy because they're mine. You know what I mean?
No, and I felt bad.
And then I'm gonna get your ass kicked out of the gym.
All right, we're going to do a little secret time now. Have you ever received something in the mail or found something and just use it? I have.
No, I
I've-
returned it.
Two
I
things.
Wait, what?
You ready?
Like a wrong package to your
Livy
house.
found a toy that was like a cell phone
Yeah.
just randomly in the park, but there was literally no one around. Like
snag.
snagged.
Oh, that
one of
I
her
would
favorite
absolutely
toys,
take.
right?
But I think it said mail.
This gets good.
Nah, man,
Someone
that's crazy.
sent a pot to our house, like a
I believe that's a
boiling
federal
pot.
offense.
No.
Don't do it. It's holiday season, guys.
I keep that too.
Stay.
Someone sent like a boiling pot, whatever you call it, like a cooking pot. Really nice. And it was like in the front of our house for a long time, and then the person.
What do you mean a long time? You just left the pot there for like
it
days?
was. I'm pretty sure
Days on end,
It
you
was
just
two
left the pot?
owners before us. So
Oh,
I'm like, who's ever sending this doesn't know this person.
gotcha.
So Dana just one day randomly brought it into house and just unpacked it and put it on the stove. And I'm not going to be like, send it back. I was like, all right, guess we got a pot. And to this day, it's one of the most used
That
pots
is
in our
pretty
house.
That is pretty funny.
Bad juju. But I'm curious, have there been anything that's like
I
just
returned it
landed?
because it was actually the neighbors, But
Yeah.
but it was from Old Navy. I did want to snoop, but I didn't. I returned it.
But I have to say, like a girl in college stealing clothes and then wearing clothes. Like Chris Salvo used to do it beautifully. He used to do it and then wear it specifically when he can to see you, to see how long it takes for you to notice that's your clothes. It's one of his things
That's
he
good.
does.
That's good.
But a nice like workout jersey, practice jersey,
Yes.
sweats. If you can get them from a family friend, it's one of the best things to do because every time you wear it, you giggle to yourself. You're like, oh, this is Dave's.
I still do that with Jay Westrall.
You do it with everything.
I stole
Frank
his
stuff,
and then
right?
I told him that's how we played horse, right? Because
Yeah.
I was like, well, if you beat me in horse, then you can take your jersey back.
Yeah.
And I washed him. So
The little one of the things I used to do, I don't know if I've said it on here, I used to take people's photos of them, like their family photo. So like Matt and Brittany, and
you
I
just
did
said it.
to
I
you
think
guys.
last episode.
Yeah, and I would
with
put
us.
it on our shelf.
That's not fair, man. That's not nice. So
Jim, can we talk Jim?
Yeah,
I
go
got
ahead. Talk to me.
questions.
Go ahead.
So I'm feeling stronger, really enjoying the workout. Shout out AC for adjusting.
Okay.
Finally starting to get a little bit of a routine. Making time, like my esteemed colleague has taught me. You got to prioritize the important stuff. And now that things are slowing down a little bit, I've been really getting back into the like Sadiq is getting ready for the Olympia. Just Bumstead has a new coach. There's a lot of stuff going on in the workout world, and I'm loving it. Okay. And my donuts, I've been enjoying really seeing them all on the rack.
These are weights, by the way.
Donuts are weights,
For those
yeah.
who don't know, if you're just tuning in.
If you don't know what a donut is, kick rocks, all right? We don't need you here. Long story short, now I have the home office kind of purring along, and I have a setup where I stand the majority of the day, which I enjoy because I feel better on the phone, a little quicker, and I've been dropping down and doing my push-ups again because I've enjoyed getting that little extra edge of feeling like a little stronger, and I feel like for some reason the stabilization of like a push-up helps me with the actual bench because I'm trying to get to 400. So my question to you is like, what other little like hacks or workouts can I do throughout the day to really not only get the peak physique I'm going for,
peak physique, Michael,
but
peak
also the
physique.
strength? Because I think, to your point, if you look aesthetically good but you're not strong, it's like
Right.
whenever you get into that little like bear hug situation with a friend, you can't really impose on them, which you've done to me.
It's like a weird like handshake, right?
So Dave, you know when you give a handshake, you let people know you're strong. You ever do that?
I don't. I don't.
He
do that.
does.
No, I don't do
You've given me hugs where you made me feel the power,
Well,
and it's
hugs-
a fun thing to do.
that. Hugs are different.
And then I give you a little back, but I want to really give you one.
you want to
one
give me
day.
a big back, not a little back.
I want to give it. You know when you crack someone's back, like,
Yeah.
whoa, I wasn't expecting that.
No, I don't hug people and crack their back. Like, yo, what up?
So, all right, stay focused. So, what workouts? So, I have 15-pound dumbbells
Okay.
upstairs that are just, they're not the Bowflex ones. They're just, they stay in the gym. They stay in my office. What can I do with like 15s effectively?
So 15
Paperweights? What?
Dude, 15 gets heavy.
Yeah, 15s, yeah, definitely.
For the shoulder
so
exercises?
well, again, so if you're talking about to improve your bench press, believe it or not, the obvious thing is like, yeah, strengthen your chest, right, with those exercises. But if you're looking for something that you can do with 15 pounds, what's called a rear delt, what is it called?
Like a fly?
It's a rear delt fly, correct.
Dude,
right, but
is
it's a bent over rear delt fly. So like if you're on the bench or something,
Can I do it standing?
What? Well, yeah. I mean, yeah. So if you're like this and you're on YouTube, you
Do
can
not
see
rip your shirt.
Your chest. You want your chest down to your knee, but I want to talk this through, so I'm not all the way down to my knee, right? You put the weights basically in between, but Mike, look it down.
It's
Like
going to be a good thumbnail. Like this is give me the thumbnail.
yeah, there you go.
Wait, do it at the same time. So I
Good. Well, no, I gotta talk though.
One of you guys talks while the other one doesn't.
Okay.
Guys, one of you talks while the other one doesn't. Both-
Yeah, that was the thumbnail. So yes, basically chest to knees. You want the weights right behind your legs, actually.
Yep.
And you want to bring them up to a place to where you're now squeezing your actual back, right? So not too high though. You want to get them basically shoulder width.
Bend the elbow.
Yep, slight bend in the elbow. And the best way to explain it though is literally the opposite of a bench press. So if your bench press is here, right, and you're pushing straight out,
Yeah.
you want to basically reverse the movement backwards.
Gotcha. And the pinkies up, it looked like you were doing.
Yes.
Why-
Thumb up. Thumb down, pinky up.
Pinkies up.
Yes.
Because then it hits
Yep.
the back
So
part?
that's your rear delt. Because what you want to do is you want to have a driving force against your bench press, right? So your
Like a
back,
slingshot.
exactly. So your back is against the bench. You want to basically squeeze your delts together during your push on your press.
All right, another nuance. Where
Yeah.
should the bar be hitting? Under?
So
I'm starting to hit, like, as I'm
It's-
getting heavier, my real strength is
you got
like,
to talk
right
to
at
the,
the bottom.
talking to the head.
As I'm getting into the heavier weights,
Yeah.
my, like, at the curvature of the bottom of my pec is where, like, all my powers come from because I'm arched.
So don't
It's like
overthink
here.
this. Don't overthink this, right? But when you do incline bench,
Yeah.
you want your incline above your actual nipple, right?
Okay.
You want your
my actual nipple or
I
my
mean,
fake
unless
one?
you have unless you have
I am
like,
a little crooked.
off
My
some
right
offset
side
nippies.
is bigger. I've seen in the videos
Okay.
and pictures, so my left side's a little lagging.
flat bench. You want to basically come down to your nipple,
All right, yeah, so
and
I'm
then
close.
a decline bench. You want to be below. Right?
Decline,
So it's
yeah.
Incline, flat,
Decline.
decline.
All right, this is all good stuff.
Yeah. And then the other thing is also strengthen your shoulders because a huge load gets put on the shoulders. Stabilization, exactly.
So what I'm finding, and this is translating to the business world, is
big shoulders, big sails.
that's the new model.
That's true.
It's true. When you go in, people are afraid to say no, so they're like, "I'll buy it."
All right. Or I'll crack your back.
The whole concept of having one goal, you can have all these other goals to get there, but like one overarching thing has been helpful because what I'm realizing is you're forced to grow your other workouts and your other body parts, like we're talking about, to get to that goal, right?
Yeah.
Coach T, Phil Tarantino, one of my boys, I was talking to him because I was saying, 400 bench and we like to bullshit. And he was like, if you want to get there, all your stuff has to improve. He's like, you just can't have huge boobs and bench 400 like it's nothing.
Right. Like squat is probably one of the most important ones to even just increase testosterone.
So it's exciting because I'm like, all right, there's this one thing that I need to work on, but I'm realizing I have to do all this other stuff to get there. It just is what's it called when it's a checkpoint? Like it's something to look back on that said, all right, you've improved elsewhere. It's a
accomplishment,
reconfirming. It's a showcase of all the work in the form of a exciting stat.
Gotcha.
Right?
Yep.
So, for example, other goals, certain sales volume or listings or whatever it is, to get to certain points, like even in business, you need to do all this other little stuff that not necessarily might be showing, but it's the only way to get to that goal.
Right.
And even though it's a very, sometimes I was worried about having too much of a finite one because I want to give myself flexibility to adapt. But I'm finding that the more focused you are on that one thing, you're forced to rework the other stuff and get super efficient to, get to a certain checkpoint. I forget what the term is. I'll figure it out. To a certain checkpoint, because then you can reassess and set a new one.
Right.
So with like the bench, in my head, if I get to 400, then it's going to be like, all right, now I want to run a bunch because I got the base and the foundation of strength now. And if I'm at 400 pounds, I'm probably muscular, and I want to be able to retain that muscle, but also have the cardiovascular endurance to be able to chase someone down and put them in a bear hug.
That's right. And
because what good is bear hugging if you can't catch people?
Right? You just have
Does that make sense?
Big chest, little back, can't run. Yeah, that's not.
But if you're like a bear and you're mobile, watch out.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what I'm saying.
I took another Orange Theory fitness class.
Loved it.
Death.
We had fun.
We
had a good time.
It was hell week too. It was rough. Good workout
with Billy and Lissa, OTF.
No. But they hit me up immediately. Alyssa was like, "You went without me." Oh, by the way, I found my 2008 high school. I should have brought it here.
5,000.
The article, yeah, the article. It was actually the last game of the season.
Really?
Yeah.
You got to bring it.
And I was 3 points shy, so I had 997 points. And I hit a 3. I wasn't shooting anything else, to be honest with you. There was no way I was not getting that.
That was like a Jeter moment.
Yeah, like you don't get you don't get your 1,000th point if you have 997 with 2 layups.
It would be nice if it was done.
Right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That this doesn't happen.
You should give it to her for a Christmas gift.
I should.
That'd be really good.
And it's like yellow now because literally my mom gave it to my brother.
It's history.
Pretty funny. All right, so today I want to talk about reflection. Right, by the time this airs, it's actually going to air the Monday, right, CV?
I got to get some mirrors for the gym.
The Monday right before Thanksgiving. So
I need to get some mirrors for the gym. You're reminding me.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
You got to really look
reflection.
At
get
it.
it? Yeah. So today is all about looking in the mirror.
And how to do it properly.
And how to do a proper bench press. No, but I think it's super important. Around the holiday time, I think we do get very lost and caught up in the momentum of the year. And things, go well, but there's also some downfalls throughout the year. So I think it's nice to always be able to actually look back and really take a minute to reflect. And what better way to do that than on the No Snooze podcast? So the questions that CV is going to ask us, I challenge you guys to answer them in your own head because they're simple questions, but I think it does tell a story of your year. Now, also, just last thing before you go, was I take a lot of pictures throughout the year. I'm literally with my phone in my hand. I capture a lot of moments, whether it's with Callie, whether it's on the lake, whatever it is, even business I do. So as I thought about this reflection episode, I went all the way back to January, and I just kind of like scrolled through my camera roll, and it was really cool to see. Like, I just saw memories that triggered moments throughout the past year that I was like, this is a good use of technology right now.
Yeah.
Like, maybe in that moment of taking the picture it was silly, but like the fact I was able to just really scroll and see all these pictures and see myself in the gym every single day.
It's pretty impressive.
It really told a story of just everything that you've kind of been through for the year.
Yeah.
You know?
It is fun to look back at photos. I don't do it enough. That's one of Dana and Livy's favorite pastimes. They always like to look, like Livy goes to I want to look at pictures, and they like scroll.
Oh, that's cute.
And it is funny because I wouldn't do it, or I don't do it as much as I should, but being able to jump in with them and then Dana be like, you remember this? You remember that? And you forget how far you've come.
Big time.
Because you look back and you're like, oh my God.
Right.
That's even like, we do so much content. A lot of our life is forever on YouTube.
Right.
So I look back and I'm like, woof, that was a tough look.
Yeah.
Like, what kind of suit am I wearing?
Right.
And then you realize that, all right, well, we were there. We've improved, but we still have far to go.
Yes, exactly. But yeah, quick challenge for you guys. Take your phone out. You know, don't do it now if you're driving while you're listening to us.
I mean, you could.
You could,
it's not safe,
if you're in a Tessie, no problem. But even if you're on the treadmill listening to it, take your phone out and just kind of scroll through that through January 22 and go all the way through. It tells yourself a nice little story.
We wanted to take a quick second to let you guys know that we partnered with our good friends over at Orgain.com. We're happy to offer our listeners 30% off by entering the code NoSnooze30. Again, that's NoSnooze30 for 30% off your first order. If you're on the market for a new protein powder, nutritional shake, protein bar, or Mike's favorite, collagen peptides, Orgain is your one-stop shop. As all of you know, my Crohn's disease is currently in remission, and the only protein I use is from Orgain. My personal favorites are the chocolate peanut butter and the vanilla bean. With the code, you can try a 2-pound tub for under $20. Talk about not snoozing. Go get yours today. Now, back to the epi.
So CV, I pulled questions from Jay Shetty's podcast back in 2021 that I listened to, and I kind of just remembered to revert back to it. He asked himself 9 questions. So we didn't make these up. These didn't get submitted or anything like that. Jay Shetty, which is a podcast that I, have in my rotation. It's called On Purpose, where he just reflected on a couple things, and I want to kind of hear the answers to kind of what's going on.
Before we dive in, do you say on accident or by accident?
By accident.
Okay, me too.
Right? Oh, I did that by accident. Yeah. No,
Yeah. A lot of people say on accident.
What are you, slow?
It's Dana.
Sorry,
Dane.
Dane. Sorry, Dane.
That just got him in trouble.
No, cut that.
No, that didn't get me. Dave got in trouble.
I did that on accident. No, that's not correct.
A lot of
dude.
people say it.
That's not correct.
Hey, if you're listening, you say on accident. Comment, on the.
I've definitely know people that say on
Yeah,
accident.
right?
It doesn't make sense to me, but
Yeah, hood boogers.
It makes sense because
Hey,
he just he said on purpose. So
Yes.
I was like, all right, if it's on purpose, then the opposite is on accident, which
not
makes
in
sense.
purpose,
Yeah, you don't say in purpose.
No.
So are we wrong?
by purpose.
Maybe.
All right, let's reflect on that.
All
All
right,
right, we're ready to rock.
CV, question number 1. And also, feel free, CV, if any of these questions spark something that you want to share with the listeners, let us know.
I like wearing dark because when I wear light, I look like I'm just like
I mean, we look
invisible.
like ghosts.
Yeah.
Thank God it's November, but oof.
The only positive, it makes my teeth look a little whiter.
Yeah,
So I drink a lot of coffee.
Oh, yeah, look. Oh, my teeth look white, too. I got to go to the dentist, actually.
Yeah, the dentist had a field day with me last night.
CV, talk to us, my brother.
All right. Question numero uno. What made you feel most happy this year?
Tacos. Next question. Pizza. Next question.
My immediate thought is the summer months on the lake
Ooh,
for me.
talk to me.
Absolutely. If I think happiness in my life, it's, of course, around, my daughter and, my family, my friends and all that stuff. But if there's a moment that I can like pause, I love being by water. And I love it even more when the sun is out and like I'm really taking in the earthliness of what's around me.
Being by the water, I think it's like a thing, like where being by the water does like not rejuvenate you, but it makes you feel kind of part of, you know.
But that's definitely my happy place.
It's like a big fish tank. Yeah.
This summer, when I went to Spain, we had our place by the ocean, and every night and every morning you basically go to sleep and wake up with the sounds of the ocean.
Yes,
because literally, and you know, I'm not gonna lie, there was no AC over there.
I'm not gonna lie,
but so the window was always open. But you hear the ocean at night. It literally soothes you to sleep, and in the morning you wake up to the crashing waves. It's probably one of the most amazing feelings you can which makes sense when you see those soundscape things and whatever. The actual real, it's amazing.
Yeah.
What about you?
I would say reliving holidays through my kids' eyes now has been a lot of fun.
That's a good one.
You know, because I feel like once you get to a certain age, everything becomes like kind of like, Christmas. Like it is what it is. I'll get some money, maybe some gifts. I'll give some gifts. We'll eat like animals. And now you get reminded like what it's about. Right. Like it's about being with family and then watching the excitement on kids' eyes, or you know, when the tradition and all the stuff that you lose touch with, now you're forced to redo it, and then you're able to do your own spin on it. Like Halloween, we never had a real tradition, but it's been fun, like going out on Halloween and trick-or-treating and seeing everyone's eyes light up and the candy. And I know you've, before we start recording, dove in a couple pieces, but like reliving that, you kind of can't help but feel like a kid again for a little bit. Yeah. It's been fun. And then you're reminded like why it's so fun.
I love that.
Right? You like that one? Yeah. So like this year, I have to say, Livy, and I'm sure Callie, like understood Halloween this year.
Yes,
like
100%.
she started to get it, which last year it was like very like confusion.
Yep.
Some excitement, but not because they understood it. So this year, Christmas, Thanksgiving, like I'm really excited to enjoy watching them. Juliana's a mush still, so she just sleeps. Which
Mike's like, I'm working for a half an eye open over here. What am I
seriously. I'm like, Liv. I'm like, Juliana, give me a little excitement. But she's starting to smile and stuff, which is fun. But Livy's like, and she talks. I don't know where she gets it, but she talks, and the way she understands things. Like I said, Liv, if you sleep through the night, Santa's gonna come because he likes kids who sleep, and we'll get you some extra fun things for the holidays. Wakes up, where's Santa? I'm like, wow, you really understand now.
You remember.
So
good. No, I like it.
Yeah. What's your guys' favorite holiday, real quick?
Oh, I guess it's got to be Christmas.
It's hard to beat Christmas.
But Thanksgiving is good too.
Thanksgiving used to be my favorite because we would tailgate, and the Thanksgiving would start at like 7 a.m.
Yes,
and you'd have a nice bacon, egg, and cheese and like Bloody Mary. Fun fact, love a good Bloody. It's one of my favorite things to get. And then you show up to like Thanksgiving dinner or whatever, and you're like kind of buzzed, and it's great. But now I would have to say it's probably going to be Christmas again.
Yeah.
TV?
What?
What's your favorite
holiday?
Yeah. What does he think does not apply to him?
Yeah,
no, I'm thinking of
he's
the
like
questions.
siesta.
That's racist.
Yeah, probably Christmas.
Right.
I love the well, now I guess in this stage of my life, I've been able to take off for Christmas, which has been nice because you get to be home. You get to be home during a nice time, and I don't know, I enjoy it very much.
Yeah.
So the last 2 years we have not had a break with real estate because the market's been crazy, and this year I'm finally feeling like we're gonna have a little break in the action. Like I'll still work and get stuff done, but I felt so distracted the last 2 years that like I was always rushing to like we have pasta night at the Salvos, and we make like fresh pasta, and I remember getting stressed to have to go there and then running back the next day and like trying to keep deals together.
That's a good point.
Like I want to be busy, don't get me wrong, but I think there's a cadence to life and a cadence to things, and this year, if anything, has taught me like families first. Shout out Kit Grant, who I worked with a lot. She was the office manager and a mentor, and she always told me like, you won't remember every deal, but you're going to remember every holiday with your kids. So remember that when you're trying to close a deal. It's just another deal. Yes, you want to service your people, but at the end of the day, what are you all doing it for? I'm like, that's a good point.
Very good.
Question number 2.
I wish it was Christmas.
Yeah, right.
Don't worry. Soon enough. What made you unhappy this year?
Oh, damn. Not 10%. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, yeah, you got your 10%. So for me, I guess the immediate thought is I lost my grandmother this year, and that was, you know, everybody loses grandparents. It sucks, but she was my final grandparent, so I don't have any more grandparents.
I'll be your grandparent.
Yeah, so you can jump in there. And then also, what made me really unhappy was watching and I've shared the details here, but seeing the decline of our coworker, Preston Brown. Yeah, that was right, CV. Yeah. Like that was really rough. And I remember like feeling almost bad when I would talk to him because he would come to my office all the time, and he would ask immediately like, "How's Callie doing? How's Callie doing?" And I kept thinking to myself, like, dude, I don't want to tell you how good she's doing because you're dying.
Yeah.
You know, and
they like to hear that.
That's probably what he wanted.
He did, but like in my head, I remember feeling unhappy. Like I remember being really unhappy about having to talk to this man about like, you know, just life in general when his life was coming to an end. And then it happened, you know, rather quickly. And I was an extreme part of like his last like months here, you know. So I really witnessed that. So that's by far I think
it's a good one.
That rings up. That's a good one.
No, I mean good one in the sense of like it makes sense.
No, I know.
For me, it's being overwhelmed by all the stuff that I've taken on and not being able to deliver on, you know, say 40% of it, and then having to like look back and say, all right, well, you can't blame anyone on that. You just got to be a little more efficient. What is in the future is not what worked in the past, and don't beat yourself up because, you know, that's the part of growing. And so for me, I was unhappy when I was trying to force things into existence and like will things and not adjust and not taking into reality that like things change and reality changes and you have to embrace it and kind of rework and not be so stubborn. So I got most frustrated when I was being stubborn and there was no results. And then it became this like cycle of being stubborn, no results. More stubborn, less results. More stubborn, and it's just like you get into this cycle.
Yep.
So, but that was not too long lived. But you know, in the grand scheme of things, adversity wise, that's not anything. But you remember, you know the feeling.
Absolutely,
where you're just dejected.
Yeah, of course.
You know, I failed more this year than I've ever failed. I was more successful than I ever did, but I failed more just because of the numbers game, right?
Really?
You know, if you sell the most you've ever sold, you're going to lose the most listings you ever lost.
Because you pushed the most volume you've ever pushed.
And if you have all these meetings, just the reality is you're not going to get all listings. So, you know, dealing with the rejection of losing listings and being wrong on stuff, you kind of second guess yourself and you get unhappy. I've been better about bouncing back faster, but you think to yourself, you're like, damn, like, am I good? The answer is always, you're probably fine, but you gotta get better. You gotta get better. You gotta get better. But you can go another way where you get a little like down on yourself,
right?
Which makes sense.
Well said. I love it.
The big philosophy. CV?
Big Philly.
Huh? Okay. Next question.
I was interested in your input there, but next question.
Oh, about your
unhappiness.
No,
about
not
mine.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. I mean, mine is kind of deep, but I'll share a little bit. So, earlier this year, it's actually a little bit of last year, I went through a tough loss, and it really threw me for a real downward spiral, and that was probably the most unhappy I think I've ever been, and it really got me in a pretty scary place. That's probably the most unhappy I've ever been. And the good thing about that is that spiked a positive, which I didn't really say in the first question, which is probably what made me the happiest, which was the ability to, I guess, bounce back from overcome it, being resilient. And there's a whole bunch of, you know, positive words I can throw in there, but they're all the same. But just getting out of that moment that I thought it was pretty dark.
Hashtag no snooze.
My man.
Yeah.
It's like a boomerang.
Boomerang.
No, that's not the right answer. What is it, bow and arrow? Did you say that? Bow and arrow? The farther you pull back, the farther you go.
It depends. What kind of bow or is it
Depends.
a long bow or
crossbow? One of those weak ones I built in daycare. Daycare camp. You know when you build one and it just freaking snaps?
You went to daycare, Mike Burrell?
I did go to daycare at one point in my life.
Okay.
I mean, I still do. Pick up a lid. Hilarious, by the way.
Livy drops you
parades. We did a parade at Livy's daycare. They literally rolled out the kids, and there was glass on either side of the crib, and these kids were in costumes, just passed out. And they were
That's good.
Parading them around. It was hilarious.
That's pretty funny.
Question number 3. What was the biggest lesson you learned this past year?
Oof.
I just spoke on that last episode, actually.
Yeah, you did a good one.
For the 33 thing. And basically what I said was what?
No.
Basically what I said was, when bad things happen in your life, you can't get stuck on playing the blame game of like, somebody did this to you, and instead really try to use it as an experience. Easier said than done for sure, but that's definitely the biggest lesson. That's also different than extreme ownership, right? Because I'm not saying when bad things happen to you, you have to take the brunt of all of it, but just being okay with like, damn, this situation happened. It sucks that it happened, but I'm going to continue to move forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The biggest thing I struggle with is attention, and realizing that this past year, like, it all comes down to where do you want to spend your attention, and you could do anything with your life, but where do you want to put your attention, and what do you want to do? Because if you try to do everything, you're going to do nothing. And if you want to do something extraordinary and have some type of balance and success in all facets, then you need to sacrifice other things and be smart and thoughtful on where to spend your attention. Where in the past, I've just said yes to everything.
Very good lesson.
And it's something I struggle with daily, and I'm still trying to learn and refine.
Love it.
Next question.
Don't put Twinkies on your pizza. That's my biggest lesson. It's my favorite quote.
Okay. Question number 4. What do you wish you would have done more of this year? Ooh.
Abs. You liked it? Calves.
Calves. I think I would say travel, because
that's a good one. You've been good today.
I did.
You're on.
I did travel. I mean, what would we do? We did the trip to Oregon. That was cool. To Vegas. But that was like business stuff.
He's just hitting us with all these trips. He's like,
No,
Vegas,
I'm
Oregon, Puerto Rico.
Well, yeah, Puerto Rico, Florida, Dominican.
I got a good one for you, David.
Dominican Republic.
You said travel.
Hold on.
Well,
Right.
let him finish.
Right. That's my point. Right. So like, I've never. So yes, I get on a plane, and if you're talking 5-6 trips in a year, it sounds good. I just really don't like planes like that. So the amount of time to get out of the country, unless it's the Caribbean, I've never really been invested in it. But I want to start.
You got to go to Italy.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like,
Have
I
Yeah.
want to go to España. And
You got to get out of the
You
continent.
I know.
I have to say, if you go
But
to
like, so
Italy,
that's what I mean when I'm saying travel.
Yeah,
more.
I like it.
if you go to Italy, you might not come back, because they're going to see you and be like, he is a local like legend. This guy is the strongest man in our
You
village.
need to go to Athens.
Yeah, they're going to like
Greece.
adopt you. They're going to be like,
I got to
"Did you-"
show up at like 7% though.
I told you the story. They thought I played for the
Yes.
Seahawks. Me,
Yes.
I'm not even that big. You go there, they're going to be like, did you invent the Seahawks?
Are you the Seahawk?
Are you the Seahawk?
Wait, why the Seahawks?
I
out of
also would
all
like to get you
teams?
big and puffy, because I know you'd be hammered food.
Oh, absolutely. I could eat a little bit. I dabble.
And I would love to see you go shopping,
Dabbled.
because they have no clothes that fit. So it would be so fun. I know you like tight clothes.
I do.
Dude,
I know. I might
you
be
would
right in
not
my
be able to
element.
squeeze into anything. It would be amazing.
I might be in my element.
He'd be going sleeveless everywhere he goes.
Absolutely.
That would be great content. You go to Italy with no clothes, and you got to buy clothes
everything.
there.
What's yours, you think?
Something I want to do more of this
Yeah.
year. I would say maybe one-on-one with the kids, like doing more activities and not being in a rush.
Rush is a good one.
I felt like I've been in a rush the last 3
3 years. I was going to say.
No, seriously.
What-
100%.
Yeah.
Like Dana will tell you, like I'm always rushing to or from, and it puts a
lot of
level of
pressure.
stress on everyone
Yes.
that's involved. And I'm looking forward to being a little less erratic and more organized moving forward, so that I can spend a little more attention and not be distracted as much.
Right.
I feel very distracted, but I think it's because I have a lack of organization in some facets.
I like it.
And the little stuff that like you do sometimes is more fun than the big extravagant stuff. For example, just getting up early and making breakfast for like Livy and watching her understand what like a yolk of an egg is, and daddy's eating it, so she wants to try it and she likes it. Oh, I like yolks.
Yeah.
I like yolks. No, that's my yolk. No, I like daddy's yolk.
Yeah.
Like those little things I think are what I will remember, versus like, hey, let's go to like pick that stuff's fun. but the nuance of like the day-to-day I'm finding more enjoyable than like the big production that is going to pick apples or like getting pumpkins. Or like that stuff's fun, but the little stuff is what I think I'll remember.
I love it. Very nice.
CV, spend more time with me.
Yeah, with you guys, of course, always number one.
Not convincing.
Well, the thing I would like to do more of, that was a question, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Would be to do more things. It kind of goes with what you were saying a little bit, and what you were saying, but do more things that you enjoy. And I mean that on and that's where I kind of relate to what you were saying, on the daily basis, not the big extravaganza, the big production. I love traveling, and if I could do more traveling, that would be amazing. But I like the everyday things that make you happy, because they tend to, like, I guess it's that compounding, right, of interest.
It's a similar,
right? Because, you know, you wait all year for this one vacation, it's great. You have a great time, but that was only 2 weeks. And then now you're going to go, 11 months without, you know what I mean? Whereas if you have fun doing things that you enjoy more sporadically throughout the year, then it almost feels like your life, that life is comprised more of those fun moments than just working, waiting for the one time to just do one fun thing. And it was great. But now it's work, again, for, you know.
Right. It's what's that quote? You
gotta enjoy the journey.
You don't want to live to work.
Right.
Work to
Right. You want to work to live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm starting to try to follow like my passions a little more that aren't like a big drain on time. So like wine, lately I've really enjoyed, and I remember thinking,
wait, boozing up.
Yeah, like I like drinking.
You just wanted to go boozing up.
So before Dana had the pregnancies and we had the kids, one of our favorite things to do was like get wine and then like get takeout. And I really love these documentaries that are talking about wine because it's like infinite. It's like endless amount of stuff. It's like cigars. Once you go down,
they're very similar. They really are very similar.
And I love learning about cigars, and I've kind of dove into that a little bit. But cigars I can't share with Dana at the moment.
Right.
And I've enjoyed the wine game, and I think the cigar game too, but the wine game is very, it's very, you can connect with a lot of people on it, right?
Yes, yeah.
If someone's lowbrow, but like I can drink wine with everyone. If someone's a little higher end, I'd love to be able to talk about stuff. It's just like cigars. But I've really enjoyed like reading a book about this sommelier that was from somewhere, a black guy. He didn't fit the bill, but it talks about kind of his rise to becoming one of the best sommeliers in the world. And it's just interesting seeing another career path that's so different than what I do, but you see his day-to-day challenges and how like he's getting hit in the face at every step, and he keeps getting past and then becomes bigger. And then he like gets hit in the face and becomes bigger, and he learns a little bit. And it really reinforced to me, like, you got to kind of follow your passion. And I've just enjoyed doing something very, obviously I'm going to try and make money from it. So we'll start Wines Day and we'll do some wine stuff. But I've really enjoyed doing something that just I'm interested in. And maybe it's quirky, but it's something that I look forward to every day.
Yeah, that's cool.
Man, you know what I love? I'm such a manual person, to do things manually, that all I ever want is to do more and more like little projects. Like, even if they're nothing to do with what my comfort zone is, it's like and that's what I think what I meant by saying like I want to do more fun things. Like, I would love to do a million little projects, whether they're in the house, whether in the cars, or in this kind of AV setting or whatever. And I live for that. Like, when you say, like, I like what you're saying.
Yeah.
Could I do it all the time for enjoyment? You know, after a while, I'll be like, oh, okay, what's next? You know, but when you talk about this stuff, what I'm talking about is like I could do that probably every single day. Like, if I retire, I will not be shy of things to do around, you know, on the house or the garage or whatever. You know,
it's like mini escapes.
Yeah.
Sometimes we worry about just like the big stuff, but it's the little stuff that keeps like the day-to-day fun. You know, I'm realizing, especially with real estate, 7 days a week. So like if you don't do anything fun through the week, like you get burnt out fast.
Yeah.
Good point.
You guys know how it is.
Every now and then you got to throw a lift kit on somebody's car. You know, it's always fun. You know?
Lift kit? What?
Yeah, he lifted my Jeep.
Did you really?
Yeah,
just for fun.
Just YouTube.
Just for fun.
Fun is.
I don't know what's worse, him doing
fun.
that or me trusting him and then driving it down the street after he fucking
But
installed it.
fun is very underrated.
Right?
Like, I talk to people about this all the time. They're like, you seem like you enjoy. Like, I'm like, yeah, dude, it's hard. We're stressed.
Right.
Like, I'm stressed all the time.
Yep.
If I don't have fun, I'm gonna lose my mind.
I agree.
But David, did you die?
no, I didn't.
Then it was perfect.
It was great.
You see, it worked out.
Did you
It
die?
worked out.
I don't think that should be the threshold.
no,
No, but it's
wheels
very
fell off.
unsafe.
Yeah,
See?
no,
Safety.
good
Perfect.
stuff.
All right, question number 4.
I like cross my
we
arms.
did
'cause it
4
shows
already.
that.
Question number 5. See,
Number 5.
what's something you want to do less of next year? Oof, I got a good one.
Legs.
Mike.
Oof.
Less of next year. I think I've gotten better with this, but I think I do spend a lot of time thinking about other people's thoughts of what's going on in my own life, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, even in business, I mean, personally,
Like perception.
professionally, yeah, perception is reality.
Mm-hmm.
Our boss always says that. Like, and it is to an extent, but it's also not, because the perception of what other people think doesn't have to be your reality. It's their reality for them.
Yeah.
Right. And I do spend a lot. I catch myself at times where I'm like, oh God, I don't want to share this because what is this person going to think? Or like, even stupid stuff with like Instagram. Is this thing going to, what's somebody going to think about X, Y, Z? Happens in business sometimes because I'm like, well, if I deliver this message, how's this person going to take it? Which I think those conversations you should have with yourself internally, especially when it comes to business, because you always want to put out something that's a good product that is ethical and that you believe in. But I catch myself thinking about that, I think, far too often.
So a hack that I do, which you might want to use, is the like authenticness counteracts all of it. Because if it boils down to like, yeah, it's true to like what I want to say, and if it doesn't hurt anyone, that's how I think about a lot of it.
But what happens, like, and I hear you, but what happens when even sometimes, in your deep inner thought process, you may not 100% fully agree with, like, sorry, I know the camera's kind of off.
Yeah, no, I'm just
you know what I mean? Like, so even you're being authentic, and it's your kind of maybe your gut instinct on something that you're wanting to say and be transparent and honest and this and that. But even in your mind, you may be like, oh man, maybe I'm not 100% sold on that. Maybe I'm like 95%.
Yeah,
So you will also have that little bit of like, so yeah, it's authentic, but even you yourself doubt yourself for that moment because maybe it's not exactly.
I don't know if it's doubt. I definitely take people's like feelings and thoughts into consideration, but it never decides if I do something.
Mm-hmm.
So like when
You're very good at that.
When I
You are.
decide to do something, my thought, which is a little crazy, is like, who is the person that I'm worried about, the perception? And if that is the situation, is it like career ending, right? Like, am I doing something that's going to ruin my career? Am I doing something that, if you don't like me, it's not going to change, right? If you don't like me, I can't control that. So like, I'll give you something to be annoyed about, right? That kind of makes me giggle. Like, I know sometimes when I post stuff, I'm like, probably 50% of the people that watch it don't like me, but I just want to let them know I'm still here and I'm still going.
Wait, why are they watching?
Yeah, I don't think that.
No, but I that's
50%.
I would
That's
hope
pretty large.
that 90%.
Yeah, right?
No,
Like,
but this is my thought
get you,
process, right?
right,
So
right.
it might not be 50, but in my head, I'm like, if it is 50, which is bad, right? It's kind of funny because you're still supporting me, right?
Right.
So it's this kind of dialogue that I've done so many times because I put so much stuff out, and some of it's junk, some of it's good. But the thought is like, if people like me, they like me for me, and that's great. And those people I'll rock with. And if you don't like me, I'm not going to change it. And there's enough people that do that it won't matter.
Right.
Right. So it's like, if I'm putting something out that's going to completely change someone's view on me, that's inauthentic to me, then I can't do it.
That's good.
Right. But if it's something that I'm authentic and I still lose people, you do it.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like, I'm not going to keep up a different perception because I'm going to piss off this person. That being said, I'm not very like polarizing to what I do because I stay very true to me, which I'm very vanilla when it comes to a lot of stuff. Like there's a couple things I enjoy.
You eat pizza, sell real estate, and do calves.
but right, like that's what I enjoy. Like if I enjoyed politics and getting into the debates and like that nuance, then I'd be more polarizing. Right. If I enjoyed like the high level stuff that is important in the world, I just realized a long time back, it's not my place. Like I don't enjoy that. I enjoy kind of creating something and connecting with people and just having fun is like my whole concept. So now everything that I do, if it achieves that, then I do it.
Good.
And, I missed a bunch. Like, people have made comments like, I probably wouldn't have put that out. And it's okay. Like, I don't get deterred by it. I just say, all right, well, next time I'll maybe adjust some things because it wasn't received as well.
Right.
Because I said, perfect example. I did an interview with the town and I said, Glenville is going to be like the next Costco. And people in this area of town are very prideful. And I got hate from both sides. And at the end of the day, I was like, maybe I shouldn't have said that. But I was like, no, I didn't say anything bad.
Right.
Maybe I presented it the wrong way. And next time I say something, I'll preface it. But the feedback is not going to overpower what I'm saying.
What you're saying. Because
I was authentic to my thought. And I was right. And I'm still right. And to this day, people who argue with me about it, I can stand. And it's something I'd willing to defend.
Be prepared to get some hate mail.
Some hate.
No. People won't.
You just brought it into the No Snooze podcast.
Right.
So that's a very. It seems like you've gotten a lot better at it.
I have, but I also.
It's like repetition.
Yeah, it used to kind of cripple me in the moment of things, whereas now I do have in my head, all right, think about it after you're done.
Yeah.
So at least I put it off, so I get whatever task needs to be done. Instead of as I'm going through the task, thinking about, how is this going to affect this or that? Now it just happens at the end of it. So it just takes up time that doesn't need to be.
This is a Gary Vee thing, too. He's like, he said, like, who's going to be at your funeral?
Yeah.
And when I think about it, I'm like, 99% of the people that follow are not going to be at my funeral.
At least 50%.
So, like, I like them. I like everyone. And I appreciate all the support. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter.
Right.
Like, nothing really matters.
No, you're very good with that.
We're back to that.
No, it's true. It keeps you grounded.
Mm-hmm.
So something that it's similar to that, but different, is I want to doubt less and take more action. And I used to be really good at this, and I've changed a little bit. And I have the metaphor of, like, when I played football when I was younger, I would just run into brick walls and not worry about the consequences. Right. Not to say that, like, I didn't want to be successful, but I didn't worry about failing as much. And so, like, there was this one play I still remember because I don't know why. It's very random. Maybe because I was concussed. But I, like, held up, and the guy ran through me and knocked me over. Whereas if I just accelerated, I ran him over, right, and been successful. So now, older in my career, having seen a lot of failure and realizing that it's a very fine line to be a failure or a success, I sometimes overthink and worry about failing more than I have in the past, because in the past I had a lot less to lose. Whereas now, when you have two kids,
that's a good point. You
go off on your own, you have a home office, you have a higher, 2 mortgages, a lot more pressure, you have a lot more of a following. Now I find myself, instead of saying how could it go right and, like, playing that out, sometimes I'm like, I don't know if I can make it past 3 months because my burn rate, I just don't want to. I want to lean into, like, I'm going to be successful, and I don't want to take today's actions and act as if I don't want to play prevent defense like in football and lose the game because I got hesitant.
Right.
I want to be on the offense and try to run up the score.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
But that's
absolutely.
hard.
It is very hard, of course.
Do you find yourself ever
it's a great balance, but you also have, we have responsibilities, and there's people that rely on us. So, like,
you can't be so freewheeling.
The burning the boats concept is a great concept, but also to somebody who,
until you need a boat, and
to somebody who provides a good point, but to somebody who provides for others around you and people rely on you, you got to be careful. So there is a level of, you have to second guess certain things, but I hear what you're saying. You want to do that less, and I love that.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah,
but I don't know. I found myself being like, "What am I talking about? Mm-hmm. Like, get the confidence back."
I know. I get it. Absolutely.
Ready for mine?
Yeah, man.
I want to stress less.
Stress less.
Good luck with
Stress
that,
less.
Yeah, if you figure that out, let me know.
Hey.
I mean,
I don't have it figured out.
Right? Oh.
But that is the goal.
Yeah,
the goal is to work
absolutely.
towards stressing less. I know the things that stress me. I know the things that get me wound up, and I just have to be better at,
So my hot take is the stress. If you take action and prepare yourself, like, you're never going to get rid of stress. You're just going to be able to manage it better.
Yes.
And your levels of managing stress are going to get better, where in reality, you're not less stressed. You're just less affected by the stress. you know?
Manage it better.
And I think when I realized that early on in my career, and I was like, I'm never not going to be stressed, because this is it's good to have the stress, because then you're sharp. When you're too laid back and you're not stressed, you don't get things done.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a matter of like changing the word of stress.
There's also types of stressor that are different, because there's certain stresses that, although I don't like them in the moment, I definitely welcome them because they're challenging in a way that make me feel good about myself, because you're problem solving your way out of it, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
And then there's other stresses that are annoying and they're almost like inconsequential to anything. So you're just like, it's stupid. Why am I even stressing over this nonsense? Because at the end of the day, who cares? It does nothing. You know what I mean?
And this is easier said than done, and I agree with that. If I can't control it, I definitely don't stress about it anymore. If I can control it, that's what I stress about. Because I'm like, I can control the outcome of this thing to an extent, right? Like if I have to get a job done, that stresses me out. Like if I have to get a report out, knowing that I have to do it stresses me versus, oh my God, the market's tanking.
Right.
I can't control
that.
So like if it's gonna rain, if it's gonna be sunny out, I don't give a shit. As long as I wear a coat and figure it out, like I can control it. You know what I mean? That takes a lot of the stress away, at least for me. Because I used to worry about like, oh, what if it doesn't sell? Like all I can do is if I work my ass off and it doesn't sell, I could tell the people like, listen, I pulled every trick in the book. If it didn't work, it didn't work. Like best of luck. I did my best. But if you can't do that, that's where it stresses you, because you're like, I left some on the table there. I didn't do this. I didn't do that. Versus if you did everything, then what are you stressed about? It just didn't work out.
It's crazy. Like the things that the stress that I welcome sometimes are like, problem solving type of stress, which is stressful and you get annoyed because you have to whatever. But the ones that I think I'm realizing are the ones that bother me the most are like people stress. People stress you and they don't matter. And at the end of the day, should I even care? Probably not. Yeah. But those are those stressors that are like, they keep like.
Do you realize that people impose their stress on you?
Yes.
Yeah,
so I've gotten way better lately not playing into that. When someone calls me frantic, which just happened this morning, someone called me frantic about something, and I literally was like, yeah, it's not a great sign, but what are you going to do, right? Like we have this planned out. We'll see what happens. We have 20 days. We'll see what happens. But there's no point in stressing about it now. I'll literally say that to the people, and then they'll calm down because it'll be, yeah, I guess we'll just stay on top of it. All right, I'll talk to you later. Like I used to play into it. Oh yeah, this is not good. That's not good. We gotta figure it out. And then it becomes
not good.
But like someone calls you, for example, right? There was this scenario where someone was on me all day about not getting checks for like a rental. This was like maybe 5 years ago. And I literally was bothering my client a ton about getting the check because this person was stressing me out. So I kept bothering them. When in reality, I should just tell the person, like, listen, I'll handle it. Don't stress. I got this. Like, it's going to be fine. Like, I'll talk to you once I have the checks. Right. Versus, hey, do you have the checks? So it's a lot of it's like realizing it's happening and knowing how to manage it. Which you don't know unless you do. And I'm sure you deal with daily.
Yeah. But I think it all comes with experience too.
Yeah.
Right? And then
it's repetition,
I think your threshold for stress continues to rise.
Yeah.
Which is why I get so obsessed with like, putting yourself in tough situations, even physically, because then when it does happen mentally, emotionally, you're able to prolong the effect of the stress that's coming your way.
And to your credit, by getting up early, then it's very rare you're going to get a call at 5 a.m. with someone stressing you out. Right. It's way more likely they're going to call you at 9 p.m. or 9 a.m., excuse me. Right. And if you have the morning to like warm up, no one catches you off guard. When I sleep, obviously sometimes you're forced to with kids and whatnot. And I say I wake up at 8:30 and I get a call at 9, I'm way less prone to handle that well because I'm not warmed up. Like my engines aren't started. Like I'm not ready for you to jump on me. Yeah. Like I can't wrestle. It's like wrestling. Like if you jump on me wrestling and I just woke up, I'm not going to be able to pin you.
Correct.
Yep.
I have a funny thing too. When people come in my office like before 10 o'clock, they usually say like, I'm so sorry to like hit you with this early. I'm like, it's lunchtime, baby. Yeah. Been up for 5 straight. Yeah. Like, let's go. Yeah. Good. No, I like it.
Cool.
What we got?
Next question. What was your biggest success this year? Clearly not the Cavs, but let's go.
Yeah,
His abs.
Yeah,
do you ever see that meme where the guy does like and it just shows like a bad clip where you're like reflecting? That's what I just did with my Cavs. I was like, another loss for the Cavs.
I think mine in life in general, which is very vague. I'll do one vague, one specific. Would be the amount of times that I didn't want to do things, but I did them because I live habitually and not in the moment of whatever's going on. Like I was able to push through, whether if it was a workout or a meeting or a phone call, whatever, applying the discipline in the moment, kind of like we always talk about. I think that's an overarching successful thing. But then in business, I got to say that it's that BJ's deal that we just like
it's a
finished.
big one.
I mean, it was a huge one. And now it's cool for even CV and I, because seeing all the kids that actually work there now, like our team did that.
Yeah.
Like we were in that conversation of community development. We're specifically community resources, but community development was the initiative. So when we were able to find BJ's and then put this deal together to not only get the revenue dollars back into the town, but now have a mandate of certain community, certain percentage of the community working in a big box like that, it was pretty cool. It was much bigger than just myself.
Yeah, no, that's a good one.
It's good.
So my biggest success, and I said it the last time, like I haven't done anything yet, but to be able to go off on my own and do enough where my wife was behind me full 100% made me feel like I've done enough and shown enough to my clients and my wife and my family where they were, everyone's nervous all the time, but they were excited for me and there was no like, are you sure? It was all support. And then on the second level of that is like to get to the point we're at now, it was such a hard road for 10 years doing all this while creating a family, while getting a house, while doing renovations, like knowing that we got through all that. And then on the other side, there's this new endeavor that I'm taking on. Like it's a very individual thing where at the end of the day, like my ass is on the line. Yes, I have the team, I have support system. But in reality, there were so many things that led to it that, I mean, No Snooze podcast, like what we've been through, there were so many steps along the way. I wanted to quit. I wanted to change careers. I didn't know if this was for me. I got overwhelmed by stress. I lost it. I screamed at Dana. I screamed at Livy. Like there were so many failures along the way. And then be able to look back and be like, well, I made it to this point. I'm excited for the future. Has been fun. So the big success would just be like when given the opportunity, I was ready to pull the trigger.
I would agree with you.
In the past, I haven't been.
Yeah. Well, as soon as I thought about that question for you, I don't know your thoughts, but I was like, that's got to be it. Has to be.
Yeah, because it's what it's like it's a very, like I said, personal thing that happened, but it encompasses such a long journey of 9 years of like grinding and like the day to day and like getting through COVID, like for that to be the tail end before I do it. And as hard as these last 3 years have been, it's even more satisfying to be able to get to the point because I didn't know if I was going to get here. I never knew if I was actually going to do it. I always said I would, but I never knew like in my head if that was actually going to happen.
Love it.
CV?
Hello? Okay. My biggest success, I think, is and I said it earlier, is overcoming this thing that I went through that was pretty crippling, and I'm pretty happy to feel that I guess that I was able to overcome it and be okay. Something that I didn't expect would happen. I didn't think I would break down that way. And after 40 long years on this earth, being blessed with never having, I guess, a situation like that hit me, it was eye-opening and nerve-wracking, but I'm extremely happy that I made it out. And that's probably my biggest success. And it's a very, individual, kind of selfish, personal thing in this moment, but I'm happy about that today. I think it's given me, it's invigorating moving forward because I know that
I think of soap.
Soap.
Yeah, like I don't know why. Like when I just heard invigorating, I think of like a soap, like invigorating your skin.
Isn't it funny how
L'Oreal?
It's like
remember that soap, the spring, the Irish Spring.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
smells are invigorating.
Yeah,
invigorating is a good word. I might have to work that into
that's a good one.
Dialogue.
Very good.
That's the one.
Yeah.
All right, hold on.
Oh boy, I know which I'm dreading this one.
Next question. Are you ready for the next question? Whew.
How much body fat?
Oh no, this is a good one. When was a moment you failed this year?
Do you have the time?
I have a specific calves. I have a very
calf raises.
a super specific one which sucked.
Are we clipping this one or are we going straight through?
What?
Are we clipping?
What do you mean clipping?
Bloop, 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 bloop.
No. This one has to do with Callie. So I remember
Dally.
Dally. I remember vividly coming home from work, being extremely tired, very irritated, and already knowing that whatever Karina and I were talking about, I was already pissed off about it. So I knew, like, walking in the door, there was going to be some tensions rising, right? And I remember being in that moment, like, don't have the conversation now. Like, now's not a good time. You're tired. She's tired. Like, it's just not going to be good. And we ended up having the conversation, turned into an argument. And it was more of a like screaming match because of the location of her and I. Like, I was, putting stuff in the laundry, so I was like far across the house, so it was like loud. And then I remember like Callie being like, don't talk, right? Picking up on that energy. And then we continued to do it. And it got so bad to the point that Callie started hysterical crying. And typically what she does when she cries and she can't really control it, she gets to a place of throwing up. And sure enough, because of the argument that Karina and I were in and chose to continue to argue, Callie ended up throwing up. And then at that point, no, but all over the floor. But even still, but then at that point, then of course the argument's over because now it's so serious. But the fact that forget Karina, I can't speak on her, but the fact that I wasn't strong enough to already know what was going to happen in that moment was an absolute fail. I still think about that to this day. Like, it kind of haunts me because little stupid things, how they remember everything. So like now when I even cook a steak, I told you on the oil, like this was over a year ago, the oil popped and went on like Callie's face. So now when she sees a steak, she goes, in my eye, right? So like, I just can imagine what she can remember in that moment. And I mean, she might have only been, in the grand scheme of things, I'm sure she's not going to remember it. Yeah. Unless she listens to the No Snooze podcast. But it was just a terrible, I was like, oh, that's disgusting. That's a fail. Yeah.
It happens though.
It does.
Life's hard.
Yeah, but it sucked.
See, I'm not as critical anymore on myself about that stuff because nothing's perfect. Like, yeah, it'd be great to be like, I never lose my cool. It's not the reality. Right. Like, you lose your cool. Mine's very similar. We were going for my mom's 60th pictures, and it was just a rough morning. I don't know. I guess we didn't sleep. It was just been a long week. Like, maybe work was a little stressful, and we finally get the kids loaded up. Everyone is in their dressed to the nines for this picture, and I'm like, we're at the 1 yard line, right? All the kids are almost loaded in the car, and we're almost on the way. Juliana's crying. Livy's in my face. Milk, Daddy, I want milk. And had the milk in her hand, and I'm like trying to put her seatbelt on, and she keeps spilling milk on me. So like a thing of milk gets on my shirt, and it wasn't that, but it was just everything building up. This is bad. Like, I don't want people to judge me. We just talked about this, but I have to share it because sometimes you feel like you're on an island, and you're like, I'm just such a bad parent, and everyone else's life is perfect. But in reality, if you ask someone, they all have this story. Maybe not this bad. So I took one of Livy's milk cups, filled to the brim, and I slammed it as hard as I could on the ground behind the seat in the car. It blew up like it was a grenade.
It was a gallon of milk.
I've never broke anything, so it must have been working out.
It was the calves.
It sprayed everywhere. Oh my. It got on me. It got on Livy's face. Immediately starts crying hysterically. Juliana's a mush, so she was just like, oh, milk. Like, I don't know what's going on. I think she was asleep. Dana, I don't think I've seen her this mad in a long time. She had like milk on the face. I felt so bad. I literally said, I'm losing my effing mind. Like, and when you flex when you're so mad and you just like can't get control of yourself. It was a moment, I'm not exaggerating, maybe 5 seconds where I lost my shit. And then I realized what I did. And I was like, oh no. We had to get everyone out of the car. We just left it. went into my car and then drove to my mom's and then like went there and everyone was like, "Are you all right?" And I'm like, I lost my mind for a half a second. Like, long story short, sorry Dana, sorry family. And to this day, her car got detailed and smells like a urinal because they used, I don't know what they
Like
used.
a urinal.
So I'm reminded every time of like losing my temper.
Yeah, there you go.
Point to this is Livy, every time I had milk, was like, Daddy spilled milk on me.
Yeah.
Daddy spilled milk. So they remind you.
Yeah.
But I did feel really bad and I still feel bad. But the reality is, like, if the kids don't get hurt, yes, it's traumatic. But like, everyone's different and everyone deals with stress differently. Next time I'll try not to slam a milk. I get that now, but you can't be perfect. So it's like, I could take it back if I could, but I can't.
Hashtag bad dads.
Bad dads. All I can say is at least when I slam the milk,
that would be a fire movie. I mean, you're not
Bad
a movie
dads?
guy.
when if you're gonna slam milk, make sure it breaks.
Make sure it
right?
breaks.
You don't.
Yeah.
I would have been more embarrassed if it
it's just
didn't
like,
break.
boop.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good one.
All right, next
next?
one. What is something you want to learn next year?
Ooh. Something I want to learn. I've been saying this for a while, but I haven't had the discipline or the real desire. We talk about wanting things and like really like, being invested in things.
You want to start doing some art?
No, I'm not. That doesn't interest
Remember
me.
that whole
That
Some
doesn't interest
drawing?
me.
Finger painting?
I want to learn how to meditate, and I want to learn how to meditate properly. Like I feel like the life that I live in my brain is wild. Like it's just always running. I'm always thinking of the next thing, even when I'm doing well in one thing. It's just the next. And it would be nice to be able to even, with the Headspace app or something like that, 5 minutes out of my day every single day. Or even 3 times a week. Don't even commit to the whole everyday thing, right? I really want to learn how to get my head into that space because I'm far from it.
If I can add a little here, only from a little bit of experience, it's definitely not something that you can do right away. It's something that I think kind of like you're working out, like your habits and your discipline.
Right.
It's something you have to do so frequent that eventually your mind will get comfortable in those spaces.
Right.
Because when I started doing that a little bit in the beginning of the year, and it's hard, man. When your mind races, just to be able to stop your
Slow
mind,
down,
it's I felt like it was impossible.
Yeah.
And it was impossible, to be honest. But the more you do it, the more your mind almost like falls into that habit of like, all right, let me calm down, let me do this breathing, let me do this, let me do that. And it is a wild thing when you eventually do feel, I guess, that comfort. And I'm not even going to tell you that I'm a good meditator because I don't even meditate anymore.
Meditation.
But I'll tell you that after a while of doing it repetitively, your mind kind of like, it's almost like it knows that it's workout time. Right. And it's like, all right, this is the workout time. And it's like the breathing. And the breathing, then when you do the specific breathing that they tell you, then you kind of slow down and you start kind of like being in that moment. It's pretty cool. But it is very, it's almost like counterintuitive because when your mind is racing, it's like the last thing.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Have you done yoga?
No.
I think you'd like it.
I tried it. But
It's kind of like guided meditation.
yeah.
I've done it a couple times, really enjoyed it. It feels like a soul bath when you leave, like especially you do a hot yoga.
Not Soul Cycle.
Got a nice sweat. I don't know if they let you in because you sweat too much.
For real. What would yours be?
I want to learn Italian.
What happened?
I made a lot of progress.
You did.
I
Didn't
did
you do like
a
100
full
days?
year, but it takes forever to learn it.
Oh.
I'm realizing.
Are you still doing that or no?
Not daily, no. I would like to.
Do you practice?
Because you had a
Because
good.
doing the classes is honestly like I'm a linguist by trade. I'm a linguist.
Me too.
I didn't know that.
Is that a passion for linguini?
Yes,
I have a passion
I'm
for
in.
linguini.
I'm a linguist. I'm a linguinist.
I am in. But taking all the courses is great. It gives you vocabulary. It gives you like some structure. Honestly, it's all garbage. At the end of the day, I'm telling you, the only thing that will ever help you learn another language is to practice.
Yeah.
Practice it. Whether you find the Italian deli that the guy only speaks Italian, and every now and then you go in there and you dabble with your words here and there, and that's all you do, that is worth 10 times more than doing 100 episodes of your Duolingo or whatever crap that is.
So I think if I could do a combination of the two, like you're saying, but I think I need like to watch Italian shows and movies.
That too, yeah, watching
that's good.
TV.
Mhm.
You know,
Like,
and
or
I'm not
music.
gonna lie though, you're a people person, man. You love being out there, social butterflying.
It's hard
it
though.
up.
Time though.
No,
That's the
What are
problem.
you
Man, you do
expecting
your-
him to go out there and
Nah,
be
he
butterfly in Italian?
Every single day when you go get.
That's
Listen, I'm gonna put this in pearly terms. You every day support local business, right? Go get your coffee at the
It's
Italian deli.
expensive, dude.
Hey, or lunch or whatever it is. You're telling Mike sent you. Go find the Italian guy. And, hey,
It's true. Luca, my guy.
mozzarella? Can I get a little sandwichini?
That's not.
Sandwich.
I could do that.
That's my linguist right there for you.
But no, it's something that I've said like in the real beginning of No Snooze, and it's something I always think like I'll try a lot of stuff, and sometimes stuff doesn't stick, and I don't care. And I'm like, I got into golf for a while, and I'll probably do it in the future, but it doesn't really kill me that I don't play. So like stuff that, but every time I hear someone speak Italian, and I remember being in Italy and not being able to communicate with people, it drove me effing nuts. For someone who likes to speak and not be able to connect with you,
I feel like a mute.
right? Dude, it was tough. And then just lifestyle wise, like I talk about this
We're cutting
vision
that.
with Dana.
Sensitive.
Yeah. So
Sorry.
like I talk about this vision with Dana being like an Italian Riviera or whatever, like on the countryside. And then I look at her, I'm like, told you.
Is she into it too?
Oh yeah, she loves it.
So
She
why
would
don't
like
you guys
to learn
talk to each
Italian.
other?
We both don't know Italian.
No, but I mean, so this is.
Yeah.
I'm sure you guys
So
have heard
what-
this.
what
the
I-
Spanglish. And,
Tell me if this is a good idea. Sorry to interrupt. I want to put labels on everything in the house in Italian, just to like.
But that, again, remember that's going to be vocabulary.
Oh,
which is
yeah,
good.
yeah,
It's
but I
great.
think you need to
It's- you're-
start somewhere.
You're building some of that.
Yeah.
But I think this is how I learn other languages, and I
How many language? Time out. How many languages
dabble,
do you know?
I dabble in
Do you
a
know
lot.
Italian?
I can understand it.
Why don't you talk with me, man?
Because you don't know how to
Ciao.
talk.
Yeah, why don't you just
Ciao,
teach?
Bella.
Why don't you just
No,
teach?
Italian's not one of mine. But I can understand it. I went to Italy this
Yeah.
past summer, and I could understand probably 70
cool.
to 80% of what people say. Just because, and granted, my Latin background, my
Helps with that.
Spanish
Yeah.
is very similar, so it helps me with a lot of things. But I've learned. So I used to speak a lot more French, Portuguese.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And
What?
The big language.
I didn't know
no,
this.
no, yeah, seriously.
Claudio, the voice.
So-
For-
linguist.
Here's a fun story. For a while, I worked as a driving instructor, and I would have to go drive.
Do you know?
people
Did you know
around.
any of
a
this?
driving instructor?
Yes, I would teach people how to drive cars, like drive. You know what I
Did
mean?
you?
For the
Dave.
So-
No, I didn't
has
know
he
that.
ever
I
shared
didn't know
this?
that. No, I didn't know. that.
no. So for a while, all my customers, first of all, they kept sending me to all these people that didn't speak English
Mm.
for whatever reason. Probably because I would. It was a comfort thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And I started getting a ton of Brazilian customers for some reason. Some that spoke very well English, had the whole bilingual thing, and some that spoke nothing. And because I can understand and I can communicate, we would get going. That prompted me to start speaking more Portuguese, and I eventually was able to almost communicate. And I'm not gonna lie to you, it wasn't perfect, and I'm sure the vocabulary was garbage. But at the end of the day, I could communicate with them in their language, and they would understand what I was saying. And what I would start doing is mixing the words in when you're talking Portuguese, it's called Portuñol, which is Spanish and Portuguese combined. No different than Spanglish.
Sick.
You say what you can
Portuñol.
in English, and the words that you can in Spanish, you throw in Spanish.
Yeah.
And the more you get better with your words and with the vocabulary, you start kind of
Swapping them out.
swapping them
Yeah.
until you're fully fluent in one or the other. You know
like
what I mean?
that.
That's
Very
really
nice.
cool.
Yeah. So
That's cool.
Because I'm a visual person, so I have this theory of like, not theory, like it'd be fun. I'm painting a picture quick. You go to a nice restaurant in Italy, right? You set it up. You say, oh no, we got this great spot. I did some research. It's the guy that, my brother loves this guy, Frank Provenzano, big dude. He just bought a place in Sicily. He's making like this restaurant, hotel, like crazy thing, right? Get everyone in Italy, get them to the restaurant. I'm sitting at the head or on the side. I don't give a shit where I sit. And they bring out the wine menu. I'm like, all right, we're going to have this, da-da-da. And then I look at the waiter and I speak perfect Italian and order the first course and don't say anything. And then just look back at everyone. Everyone's like, what the hell was that? Those
nice.
moments
Yeah,
I think are
that's good.
hilarious.
not from nothing. That's probably the easiest vision you can. The hardest will be when the waiter talks back to you and he says, "Oh, would you rather this, or that?" And you're like,
I'll say see.
You want a medium rare?
"See."
It just brings you.
But you can study that. You can
octopus on a-
study enough to order, to ask, and because it's you're the one formulating what you want to say, so you will
Yeah.
eventually figure out the language and the vocabulary you need to use. The hard part is understanding other people, and then understanding either their dialect
Yeah.
or they're just some people don't speak well.
And this is a weird comment, but until I do things that I have like the vision of, I can't get it out of my head. Do you ever have that with anything?
Yeah, definitely. But I also struggle too when I hear the whole conversation of like learning new things, right? Interested in things, but like I feel like it's a downfall of mine that I'm so obsessed with the things that I like that I just want to keep. It is, but it's very like, very robotic in a sense. I like dabbling in things here and there, but not that I want to like build into my lifestyle.
But I think
meditation, I think, is something I would.
I think it's wise that you're very selective, because whatever you do and you've been doing, you've done at a very high level, which is what I want to get to and what I choose, right? My problem is if I'm with someone that's passionate about something,
you want that.
I'm easily influenced, and I love passion.
Right.
So I was thinking about this a lot. Action Bronson is one of my idols. Love the content he does. I think he doesn't care. He does what he wants. He gets interested in random stuff and makes it work. But he said something on this show, F That's Delicious, which I really resonate with. He's like, I love learning things, and I love talking to people who are passionate about things because their passion, I somehow get like wrapped up in the excitement,
right?
And I want to explore that. And I'm like, you're having so much fun talking about this thing. I want to have that, right?
I like that. That's good.
I went in an interview once, and I referred to myself as a multi-tool.
A multi-tool? I'm like a Swiss Army knife.
Yeah, exactly
right?
that.
Is that what
the guy was super impressed with my terminology. I didn't get the job, but
yeah, super impressed.
I thought it was like
he was like, I don't want this multi-tool.
I had to describe myself, and I was like, all right, well, I'll do this or that. But at the end of the day, I think where I thrive the most is being able to grab anything, doesn't matter what it is, and be able to do it at a decent level and figure it out.
And there's a thing that we're going to deal with just in general. Like, it definitely is more prominent in real estate, but I feel like people like interesting people. And I feel like I like having conversations with interesting people.
Yes.
And if I'm doing interesting things that I'm passionate about, it just makes the just life in general a little more vibrant.
I like it. That's
like when we hang out and you start talking cigars with me, I'm like, it's so fun to hang out with Dave, not only because I like him, but he has these things that I'm not aware of that he shares with me. And then when we talk real estate and I'm able to hit you with some facts and like, oh, I like this. Have you done that? Like, there's a level of, you never expect anything from your friends, but when someone has a different like passion and you're able to come together and like appreciate each other's passion, it just makes everything more fun.
I think that's really cool. Yeah,
that is.
By the way, Davis only smoked me up once, and after that,
in
South Carolina,
you told me. I was like, CV, you enjoying this?
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
and then I asked him. And then I asked him the next morning. Though I said, "You want another one?" He was like, "Never again.
No,
never again.
But
never again. Never again."
Once you learn how to smoke it right, which he taught me, then you're able to enjoy it. But when you don't smoke it, it's like drinking wine. When you don't know how to drink wine, you get hung over and you don't want to drink it again.
Well, I learned my lesson. I'll never probably smoke that final third ever again.
There you go.
But other than that, I do like it. I did like it. I just needed like a 8-month hiatus.
Yeah.
I'm back.
Good. Let's do it again. What do we got?
All right, last question.
Last one.
Beautiful. What is your favorite way to refuel?
Oof. Wow. Refuel?
Starbucks is not an acceptable answer.
Food?
And neither is C3.
So Starbucks is not an acceptable answer. But so if I'm being genuine here, right? Like 100%, it kind of takes me full circle back to the very first question, I guess, about happiness. Me with a cigar in the sun would be my favorite way to really refuel. And I know like cigar smoking is not the healthiest thing, so I'm not looking at refuel as that. But to me, the process of like smoking a cigar, like the process of in and out, there's something about it.
You meditate a lot. You just don't even
That's
know.
meditating.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But there's something about that motion for me that like I do.
You get a little head rush too.
It's much deeper than just me smoking a cigar.
A big part of meditating is the breathing.
Right. Yeah. Well, and that's what I'm saying. And like the fact that I then connect, the flavors and the aromas to the cigar, it just brings the whole experience together. But for me to really refuel, I want to be outdoors. Right, because I love the sun, a little vitamin D. I need it if you're on YouTube right now because Mike and I are a little pasty, if you will.
Seriously, we really gotta do something
But
about this.
smoking a cigar outside for me is really my favorite way to like just recharge. Because I do smoke a lot of cigars indoors at the lounge and stuff, and it's much different. Yeah. It's cool because you're in a lounge and people are around you and you network and that type of stuff. But like my freest moment really would be like just outside, like kind of by myself, hearing some like birds chirping, and I'm just smoking in and letting it out.
Yeah. I got a couple different angles to this. So
Calves.
I've enjoyed working out to refuel lately, like to get like back to like steady, but that's more of a stress management. I like looking forward to like family dinners or a night out or dinners or some type of like something detached from the day to day. I just like looking forward to something so that I have like a break in the action. How people's Friday is like Friday, I don't have that. So having a dinner or something to look forward to gives me a break in the week.
Right.
And then I like to go for walks, which is like one of my favorite things to do. Now it's becoming running, which I've really enjoyed running. And I enjoy...
What's your favorite?
I'm trying to think through it all.
Like, what would be your favorite?
It's probably the family dinner stuff. Like, if I have a crazy week and I know we can go to a restaurant or just like go to a house or like, you know what, let me take this back. People. I get refueled when I get together with friends or family and just have like a break in the action. Like I get energized from people.
From that. See, and I agree with that. I do. But when I'm thinking the way my brain is, when I hear refuel, I don't want to be around anybody.
Yeah.
Isn't that weird? And I love people.
Yeah.
I love people.
Yeah.
I would say I'm a people person, but like for me, refuel, I need to be by myself.
So I get the energy from people because like if I come meet up with you or, you know, I go over to someone's house or whatever, chat, like hearing what they're going through and like talking to them and just like reminding myself you're not like everyone's on their own path is reassuring for some reason for me. Because I'm like, oh, like I get excited to get back to the work and get back to the life because it's fun to check in with people and know that people are also going through their shit and have stuff going on. But ideally, if there's food and wine involved, I'm a fan.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Right?
That's definitely a good one for sure.
I don't know. I'm trying to figure out. What about you, CV?
My little projects.
It's a good one.
Doing my little projects and being able to share them with my friends. That's probably my, you know. What was the question?
You want a little project making a fence?
Yeah.
No.
I'm making a fence.
Did you not see my little project out there?
It looks
That was
great. That's what I'm
how to
saying.
refuel, right?
And they're refueling, right. So that makes me feel good, man. When and that kind of refuels you, and me at least, doing my little projects with that gets me into my element, and that makes me happy. And then being able to have something completed that I can then share with my friends, that's the part that makes you refuel to like want to do another one or hang out.
And this is a little bonus, real quick. I'd like to look at the end vision. So, like, if I'm a little like drained, I'd like to remind myself of like the, watch whatever, like villas in Italy or, a billionaire real estate investor. Like, I like watching the apex and then getting excited because I'm like, I'm getting there. Like I'm not. Maybe I'm on mile 1 of 1,000,000, but I'm on the way. Wait for me.
Very good.
Help is on the way.
You always used to say the yacht analogy too, right?
Yeah, you got to get close to it.
Right, just like go step on a yacht or something.
Well,
just in life in general, not the yacht.
Yeah, no, 100%. Like if you
feel it.
Like sometimes I say what you want about like expensive spots,
right?
But just being in that environment rubs off on you in some facet, whether that's I belong here or these people are just like me. Like there's nothing extraordinary about these people.
Right.
That this person's an average person. Like I like when you make it very realistic because it's very unrealistic goals. So when you can bring it down to a little more attainable, it's fun.
Reduce it to the ridiculous, right?
Yeah, that was a good post.
Good. No, listen, this stuff is it's cool to look back on. I know it's a lengthy conversation, but I think it's one that we don't typically have, and it kind of forces us to have it, right? And like to think back, look at your year, and be like, you know what, a lot of ups, but there were some downs, but you know what, we're still plugging away.
Yeah, I think should be done in doses. Some people get caught in the past.
Yeah,
and then you can't create a future if you're in the past.
Right.
Since this is a Thanksgiving episode, I would like to say that I'm extremely grateful for this camaraderie that we have together and
the big linguist.
The big linguist.
And what we do on a day in and day out. We're a ways in, and it feels good. It feels good every time that we get together and kind of get this thing going. It's like our baby, you know.
Yeah,
it feels good.
And the feeling is absolutely mutual, and we cannot do it without you, because it would just be Mike and I talking to ourselves like we've always done. But this actually brings some value to people, which is even more incredible. And honestly, I'm very, very grateful for not only the two of you guys, but to everybody that tunes in and listens, because that's very motivating.
Yeah, I still get a kick out of everything.
Funny, right?
I still think it's hilarious that people like quota, like
right.
It's very interesting.
It's very weird. It really is. I was in the gym this morning, and before we get into Dave's Dime of the Week, which is going to be completely different of a dime, because it's going to be your dimes that you sent to us, in terms of gratitude. But I'm in the gym, I'm talking to this guy, and he's like, I just have to tell you that, your podcast is like the front of my list. I'm like, yeah, like that's awesome, but like why?
Yeah,
right? Why is that?
Yeah. Such a good question.
Yeah, like
this
why?
Guy stole your headphones.
Right. And his answer was like, because I see you and like I know you guys. He's like, I feel like I know you guys, and he's like, it bugs me out to say this to another man, but the fact that your voice is in my ear while I'm working out and I can see you, he's like, it's really weird, but he's like, I just love what you guys are about. I love what you guys talk about. And I was like, yo, man, I appreciate you telling me that. But if you have my headphones, give them the F back.
The guy's listening on
right,
your headphones
on my headphones.
To you.
This is effed up, man. But no, it's wild, because I know you get these thoughts on with the social media and stuff too, and you're like, well, I didn't even know that this was really doing anything, and then like when you hear stuff like that, you're like, whoa,
yeah.
This is where my mom
Trips you out.
texted me. My mom texted me the other day. I don't even know who this person is, but she's like, so-and-so's son, who has just joined the sobriety journey or whatever, or just being sober, absolutely loves your guys' podcast. I'm like, that's
amazing.
Bizarre.
Yeah.
And you don't know who these people are.
Yeah.
So this will bring us to my favorite section, Dave's Dime of the Week.
Dimes.
So I had, just kind of pulled some screenshots together. So there's two specific ones that I just thought were so cool, because typically people, you kind of associate the no snooze mindset with just the gym, and that's, fine and dandy, but there were just two different ones that got submitted. This was a text message. I met this guy back in 2020, I believe.
Was he squeezing your bicep
at Haiku?
If you're a Dave fan, he just hit you with guy in 2020. His accent came out big.
But I don't know. I must have been drinking, because if I just met some dude and I just gave him my number because he liked the podcast, I must have been so flustered.
In the early days,
right?
Let me preface this. In the early days, we gave out everyone our number when we subscribed.
I must have been like so humbled that he said something to me about the podcast that I was like, yo, man, you got to take my number. So
for sure.
So he literally just texted me, and he goes, hey buddy, I hope all is well. Not sure if you remember, but you gave me your number back in 2020 at Haiku in White Plains.
2020.
After 2 years of snoozing, I have officially left my 9-to-5 to pursue my DJ business I mentioned.
Oh, Jesus.
19 out of 52 weeks are already booked for 2023.
Wow.
I've been meaning to reach out and say thanks for the encouraging words back then. Mind you, I don't know what I said.
Yeah.
It wasn't an easy decision, but it was so worth it. You and Mike keep doing your thing.
That always gets me worried when they say I quit my job.
But, right?
I thought it was going to be followed up with like, I'm miserable. Like,
but how bugged out is that?
It's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
And so that was one. And then the second one, this one, you probably saw this in the DM, but I clipped it out because it was awesome. And it was pretty recent. Said, Dave talked about doing something consistently for 60 days to develop new habits in one of the epis. I took on the challenge with dieting and exercising daily, finished the 60 days down from 17% body fat down to 13.
My guy.
Now I'm hooked. On the way to 10%. Let's see if I can sustain it with this newborn baby.
Oh.
Thank you guys for all the content. It's truly helping people and changing lives. Keep up the good work.
Love Mike. I wrote that
one. Mike submitted that one. Cool stuff, right? Like, you don't really think that stuff is like really helping people, because sometimes I feel like we could get in the booth and we have a conversation. It's like, all right, it's good for us, but like, what is it really doing for people?
I think at the end of the day, reassures people that everyone else is kind of grinding through their own thing, and we're normal guys, normal shit going on, and they're just like, if they can do it, I think we're the people that people point to us and like, if these idiots, can
exactly.
do it, which I'm happy to be that person.
I always say that about parenting. I'm like, some of my friends, y'all are not too intelligent. Y'all got 5 kids. I could do it. You know what I'm saying?
We're those people.
I can figure this out.
Yeah.
I can figure this out.
Definitely watch us. And they're like, Mike's got 2 kids, and like, he's doing decent. Like, I must do well.
I could do this. No, man. So listen,
good episode.
This was fun.
We got to steal more Jay Shetty's episodes. These are fun.
It was good, and it literally, I just clipped. I clipped it, sent it to CV. I was like, "Yo, read these to us." Basic questions, but again, I challenge you guys. You know, Mike always likes a little challenge back to you guys. You know, replay this back, get the questions, and
do it yourself.
You know, do it yourself because it forces a good conversation, even around the table at Thanksgiving. Ask it to one of the family members or something.
I just came up with this on the fly. Food for thought, which is a great way to for me because I love eating. Yeah. Food for thought for everyone. Now that the crazy 3 years are behind us, I challenge you, is now the time to take your foot off the gas or push harder than you have before? A lot of people I see around are kind of taking the foot off the gas.
I agree.
And now might be the time to, you know, say what you want about the markets. Now might be the time.
I agree. This was fun. This was a good one, right? It was very, very.
Let's sell some houses. What
I mean,
do you think?
A lot of it is effortless anyway, but this was, I feel like, extremely effortless to just reflect.
It's tough though, because now I want to smoke cigars, drink wine, travel.
Let's go.
I don't want to work.
Listen, happy Thanksgiving to you and your family. And again, guys, we just appreciate what you do. We're very grateful for you tuning in one time or for the 123 episodes in. It really makes a difference and keeps inspiring us to provide you guys with some sort of value here.
Absolutely. Happy Thanksgiving. I'm gonna eat a full pumpkin pie.
All
That's
right,
my
let's go do that.
I'm definitely gonna do it.
I'm in.
Yeah. Full pumpkin pie for Thanksgiving.
Pumpkin pies with the guys. Listen.
Challenge accepted.
Until next time, stop snoozing.
Get up and get after it.
And this is the one time you can go eat, all right? Go eat. Happy Thanksgiving, y'all.
That's another Effie in the books. Go follow us on Instagram and Facebook at No Snooze Podcast. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, No Snooze. Come on.